here are first things that you should do on Motorola Edge 60 Fusion. So let's get right into it. If you are right after the initial configuration, you can, for example, check notifications in order to see if you have this Android setup notification where you can finish setting up your device. If you do have it, then you can open it in order to just see whatever it is being displayed over here. You can continue setup wizard over here. If you want to, for example, copy data from another device, you can just press start and set up by using your old Android phone or old Apple phone. You can also just skip through all of these menus in order to not be bothered with this prompt again. Of course, this is also a good way to learn more about your phone, so you can, for example, go to Moto tips or personalization options and so on in order to find out what you can do on your phone. Besides that, of course, we need to go to the settings of our phone. So let's open settings, and the first thing that you can do in the settings is go to password, passkeys, and accounts, and over here you can just sign into all your accounts that you want to use on your phone. Of course, you can do this later. You can just remember where you have to go in order to, for example, add another Google account, or if you want to use Moto account, for example. And there we go. Now, besides that, one of the other most important things is, of course, the password protection for our phone. So we can set up the screen lock if you didn't do that during the initial configuration. In order to set it up, we can go to security and privacy. Over here, go to device unlock, choose screen lock, and then we can choose the type of password that you want to use. In my case, I'm gonna use a simple PIN code. There we go. And then one more time, enter the same password and confirm. Then we also have the lock screen notification settings, so you can customize it here as well. Besides that, we have biometrics, the fingerprint sensor, and face unlock, which we can set up over here as well. While we are here, we also have theft protection, which is also quite important, I believe, to set up. So we can enable the theft detection lock, the offline device lock. We also have the remote lock and find and erase your device, where we can find my device option. However, in order to make it work, of course, our location must be enabled. And there we go. So if you don't want your phone to, if you don't want someone to get access to your phone by, for example, stealing your phone, then of course you can enable these locks, for example. Alright, so once we are done with the security and privacy, of course feel free to go through all these options actually. However, I think these two, the screen lock and biometrics, as well as the theft protection, is the most important one over here. Essentials, I would say. Besides that, over here we can go to system updates. So if you scroll further down in settings, we have system updates. We can check for updates in order to see if there is any new update waiting for us. If it is, then of course it is recommended to install the update. We also have the smart updates option, where we can automatically download and install updates when we are connected to Wi-Fi. The next thing that we can do is go to the Play Store. So let's open the Play Store. And what we can do here is check if there are any app updates waiting for us. So of course you need to be signed into the Google account to be able to access the Play Store. But essentially we can tap on our profile in the top right corner, go to manage apps and device, and over here we have updates. And as you can see, if you tap over here, we have the list of apps waiting to be updated. So you can update one by one, or you can just press update all in order to do this pretty much instantly. Alright, so once that is in progress, we can go back to the settings. We are not done in the settings, because now we can go, for example, to display settings, where we can adjust the screen brightness. If you tap over here, at the top we will have this bar for the screen brightness. You can also enable or disable adaptive brightness, which is the automatic brightness of the screen. We also have the dark theme option, and if you go over here, you can also create a schedule. Besides that, display refresh rate option can be found over here. By default, we use automatic display refresh rate, which jumps between 60 and 120 Hz. The phone decides by itself when the screen will be refreshed more often. But if you want to have 120 Hz pretty much all the time, then of course we can turn it on over here. Now, besides that, we have the automatic screen rotation. It is also accessible in the control center over here. We can also go to the control center later in this video. And I think these are all essentials. Of course, there are more options that we can customize. However, I just want to focus on the most important parts. So after that, we can go back to the settings, and this time we're gonna go to battery. Over here, pretty much every option that we have over here is quite important to check out, because for example, we have the battery saver, which by itself is nothing unusual, of course. However, we can go to schedule and reminders in order to, for example, find this option that allows us to reduce battery drain when the phone is inactive. So we can turn this option on. We can also set default battery level, which means that based on the select percentage, for example, if you set it to 20%, then the battery saver will be enabled when the battery drops down to 20%. So if you want to have automatic battery saver, then you can use this one. You can also enable and disable the reminders about the battery saver. Besides that, we also have the charge boost, which is the fast charging option. So if you wish to have fast charging option, then of course we can turn it on over here. We have optimized charging, which is an AI tool that learns the usage pattern and the charging pattern of our phone. Meaning that if you have regular schedule for charging your phone, for example, if you charge it at night, pretty much every night, then it is recommended to use this optimized charging so that the battery is limited to 80%. But when the phone knows that you are about to wake up, for example, then it charges back to 100%. This allows you to prevent battery draining and aging and so on and so forth. So definitely worth enabling. However, if you have irregular pattern of charging the phone, it is actually not recommended to use it. Besides that, we have the overcharge protection, which allows you to limit the battery to 80%, so you always have 80% max, which helps you keep the battery for a little bit longer. The lifespan is extended like that in general over time. There is also the adaptive battery option, which also is used to extend the battery life, and this option limits battery for infrequently used apps. Your phone will learn how you use apps over time, of course, so you might need to give it a short time, I would say, in order to make it fully work. And there is also the battery percentage, so if you always wish to know how much percent of battery you have left, then you can turn this option on. Alright, battery is done over here. Besides that, we can also go to the home and lock screen options. And here I actually want to go to the control center. So I mentioned that we're gonna go back to the control center, and this is why. Because by default, we have this classic look of the control center. However, we can use the modern one. And the modern style allows you to go to notifications by swiping on the left side of the phone. But if you swipe on the right side of the phone, as you can see, we have new control center that looks a little bit different. You can customize it by tapping on this pencil icon over here in the top right corner. And if you use the classic style, then you have this pencil icon over here. So this is also how we can customize the control center. Apparently there are some customization options as well. So over here, you can check that out as well. I think the modern style actually looks much better. It is definitely a more convenient way to access these quick settings or these shortcuts than swiping down twice. All right. And now we're gonna also go back to the settings, but this time we're gonna scroll all the way down pretty much to go to system. And over here, if you go to performance, then you should be able to find the smart app launch, which I think is quite convenient to use in my opinion. This allows you to this allows the phone to learn app usage patterns, so apps can be launched quickly. We also have the RAM boost, which is set to AI auto, but you can also force the specific amount of additional RAM if you wanted to. And then there's one more thing that I want to show you in the settings, and that is gestures, which is actually over here above battery. And over here we have system navigation. So if you have 3 buttons navigation, but if you prefer to use gestures, then of course you can switch over here. or the other way around. Besides that, each option has additional options. For example, if you choose 3-button navigation, you can change the order of these buttons over here. And that's about it in terms of settings. Now I'm gonna actually show you one more thing in the app drawer over here, because by default we have this newsfeed and the journal section. If you don't like it, as well as these app suggestions, then you can tap on these 3 dots in the top right corner, go to settings, and over here, for example, we have these smart tabs. So we can turn this option off in order to disable news and the journal. So if we go back, as you can see now we only have apps. It seems that we cannot actually get rid of this for some reason, so it is a little bit ugly, I would say. There is also this prompt bar that we have at the bottom of the screen, which can also be disabled over here. And what else? And of course we have the suggestions. So over here we have suggestions in all apps list. So if you turn this option off, then we don't have suggestions. As you can see, we can also create folders, which is quite cool for organization purposes. So if you want to create a folder, we can just tap on these 3 dots in order to create our own folder. And last but not least, we have some bloatware apps on this phone after the initial configuration. So you might want to check what is actually installed and consider uninstalling them. For example, I don't think I need booking.com, so I can just press and hold, I believe, in order to remove the app. Actually, let's see, press and hold and then move it. Yeah, and then over here at the top we have uninstall option. So we can just get rid of apps that we don't need. I don't need the Opera browser as well. We can just uninstall it and so on and so forth. So you can do this with every app that you definitely, if you are certain that you don't need. And that's about it. So I think these are all essential tips that I can give you for this phone after the initial configuration. If you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe, and see you in my next videos. Bye.